numerous points of view. The committee would appreciate speakers keeping their presentation to 3 minutes in order to accommodate as many people as time permits. The chair reserves the right to limit the number of speakers on the same topic to 3. All speakers must be at least 18 years of age or enrolled in high school and Lynn Public Schools District and having discussed their views with a student government representative. The chair reserves the right to rule the speaker out of order if they feel that the speaker's comments are personal in nature. If a speaker's comments are directed at a school committee member or a member of school administration in attendance, that member, through the chair, may address the individual. First person we have here is Cindy Gifford. If you could just please say your name and address.
Cindy Gifford, 47 Starrett Road. Special ed parents have the right to observe any program proposed for their child. Lynn requires parents to give a 3-day notice for an hour observation and a 5-day notice for a longer observation. On March 25th, I emailed a request to observe the 18 to 22 life skills program at Lynn Tech. I emailed a second request 8 days later, and then a third request on April 23rd. On April 25th, I was informed that the chairperson for outside placements would be attending my son Jack's transition meeting. My son Jack is a senior at Lynn English High School in the life skills program. Then on April 26th, I learned that the district is now going to offer Jack an outside placement that we didn't request and don't want to have to accept. Finally, on May 16th, my husband and I were able to observe the program 52 days after my initial request. And I feel like the 52-day wait is a reflection of just how bad the program is. And also the offer of the outside placement is also a reflection of just how bad this program is. My son is no more deserving of an outside placement than any other student in the program. If the program isn't good enough for Jack, it's not good enough for any student. We're hoping that changes will be made to bring this program into compliance by September. We want our son to finish his last 2 years at Lynn Tech with his friends. So I mailed this ahead to Dr. Alvarez and Dr. Colella, and this is additional information. I also want to say that this program has been bad for a long time. And the reason it's so bad is because parents don't understand the law. They don't know what their kids are entitled to. And I feel like the district exploits the parents, the fact that they don't know what's going on. This has been going on, this is my 17th year here. This is going on for a long time. And now it's my son's turn to enter this program. And, all of a sudden, he's going to get an outside placement. It's not fair. And we don't, obviously, if the program isn't improved by September, we'll have no choice but to pull him out. But it's not fair to any other student. So I'm hoping that you will have time to look over the additional information and maybe some changes can be made by September so my son can finish his last 2 years with his friends. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. And thanks.
Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to speak at open mic? Anyone else for open mic? Last call for open mic. Seeing none, we will close the open mic portion of the evening and move into the regular school committee meeting. Roll call, please.
Member Castellanos.
Present.
Member Dugan.
Present.
Member Gately.
Present.
Member Pena.
Present.
Member Reed.
Present.
Member Satterwhite.
Present.
Mayor Nicholson.
Present. For those who are able, if you could please rise for a salute to the flag and remain standing for a moment of silence. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence in memory of Kathleen Morella, former teacher, passed away May 7th, 2024. Elaine Yakubian, teacher at Druitt's, May 9th, 2024. Juan Alexander Reyes Anoa, Thurgood Marshall Middle School student, May 9, 2024. Thank you. Next item is the minutes.
Make a motion to accept the 9th regular meeting on May 9th, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Next is appointments.
Good evening. It's my honor and pleasure to share with you three appointments today, two of them being principals. Christopher Norkin, who is here with us this evening, congratulations as being appointed as the new principal of Shoemaker School. We will be here to support you, and welcome to Lynn Public Schools. Aaron Sukowski, congratulations, principal of Sisson Elementary.
Thank you.
We're so excited, and I know the families and the students are as well.
That's right, I'm in elementary school.
And for school committee, I'm recommending school nurse selection of Deanna Stevens.
It's the will of the committee. Maybe a motion to approve.
Oh, make
Yeah.
a motion to accept Dina Stevens, BSN.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Member Castellanos.
Dina Stevens.
Member Dugan.
Deanna Stevens.
Member Gately.
Deanna Stevens.
Member Pena.
Deanna Stevens.
Member Reed.
Deanna Stevens.
Member Satterwhite.
Deanna Stevens.
Mayor Nicholson.
Deanna Stevens. Congratulations to Deanna Stevens, as well as our two newest principals. We are excited to have you on board. Congratulations. Next item is the ELA middle school curriculum.
Good evening. My name is Allison Mosho Hamilton. I am the Assistant Director of Secondary ELA. I'm here tonight with Kelly LaPierre, ELA Director, ELA Department Head, at Pickering, Jen Semino, ELA Teacher at Thurgood Marshall. Tonight, we will be presenting the team's recommendation for the new middle school ELA curriculum. By adopting a curriculum that is deemed high quality, we will establish a foundation for coherence across instructional systems and set a standard of excellence for our students. Before we outline our process, I would like to recognize the adoption team, whose members are listed on the accompanying slide. Given the significance of a new adoption, it was essential to ensure diverse representation of perspectives. This team convened both in person and via Zoom from September to May, adhering to the structured process provided by DESE's Evaluating and Selecting Committee Network. I had the privilege of participating in this network alongside Principal Stephanie Doucette. DESE's Evaluating and Selecting Committee Network concentrates on the two initial phases of DESE's Implement Mass process. You are likely familiar with the graphic displayed on the slide. During the Learn and Prepare phase, our team crafted a vision statement for middle school ELA, which served as the cornerstone of our efforts. The vision statement is as follows. The Lynn Public Schools vision for middle school ELA centers on providing opportunities for our students to become critical thinkers, effective communicators, and lifelong learners. Students will build essential literacy skills through equitable access to high-quality instructional materials, data-driven practices, as well as targeted differentiation to scaffold, support, and extend learning. Through student-centered, culturally responsive environments, our learners will participate in academic experiences that foster a sense of belonging within their school community. Building on the vision statement, the team identified and prioritized 3 drivers for the vendors that we investigated and piloted. These drivers are outlined on the slide: literature, representation and diversity, accessibility and support, and engagement and task variety. I'm now going to hand the microphone over to Kelly, who will guide you through our site visits.
Applying the drivers Allison mentioned previously, the team narrowed our selection down to the following 3 platforms: Amplify ELA, Study Sync, and My Perspectives. Having Allison and Stephanie on the Evaluating and Selecting Committee network provided a significant advantage in terms of helping to facilitate connections with Everett Public Schools, Haverhill Public Schools, and Salem Public Schools. Because of this, we had the opportunity to observe our 3 narrowed platforms in action being utilized by real students in authentic classroom settings. This was an invaluable experience that significantly impacted the team's decision. What we witnessed in Everett Public Schools with Amplify ELA was the engagement of all students, despite their varying needs. Teachers mentioned that students' writing has really improved since they implemented the program. With the Amplify ELA program, students are writing and rereading the text in every lesson. The scaffolds built into the program support the needs of all students. Students who did not have a laptop were able to use the consumable book and participate in the lesson without missing a beat. We were also very impressed by the Amplify projects and extension activities that we saw throughout the building. With that, the team would like to recommend Amplify ELA for our middle school ELA curriculum. This program has been greenlit by Ed Reports and has received a Meet Expectations rating from Curate.
Our decision to recommend Amplify does not come lightly. The adoption team was initially split in their voting. Because of this, we reconvened multiple times for a final decision to eventually build consensus, which centered around the following 3 principles. My voice has been heard. I understand the proposal. It is clear to me that the will of the group has emerged from this proposal. Additionally, we really leaned into understanding the key drivers and reasons behind each perspective, delving into data to back our decision.
Personally, I'm thrilled at what Amplify ELA offers. To start, the platform has a library that is comprised of over more than 700 classic and contemporary fiction and nonfiction books in their entirety. This is something that currently is missing for our students. The collection offers a wide range of genres, topics, and cultural perspectives. The titles have Lexile levels spanning from grades 3 to 12, which provide our students who have varied abilities access to the reading. The collection includes classics such as M.C. Higgins the Great and The Call of the Wild, as well as modern titles like Under the Mesquite and Hidden Figures. Beyond the library, there are a range of features, including rich, complex, and diverse fiction and nonfiction pieces within each unit separate from the library. Differentiation to support students with disabilities, integrated multilingual support, and a comprehensive assessment system, and flexibility. The curriculum doesn't just expect students to turn the page, it encourages active engagement. I'd like to spotlight Amplify ELA's differentiation feature. It provides multiple entry points to ensure every student can access a rigorous curriculum. While the students read the same text, they receive tailored support to meet individual challenges. Within Amplify reports, teachers can select from 5 different levels of support: core, substantial, moderate, light, and challenge, to match each student's needs. These levels are dynamic. Learning is dynamic. As students progress through the activities, the program adjusts the interface to provide personalized scaffolding, ensuring that every student experiences the lesson with targeted support. Additionally, the ability to differentiate at 5 levels will help teachers utilize a multi-tiered system of support, ensuring that each student receives individualized, high-quality instruction that is tailored to their specific needs in real time with formative data to drive our instruction. This can enable teachers to formulate small groups based on current data while creating a sense of community and shared learning within the classroom, fostering collaboration and academic discourse opportunities in our classroom and our communities, allowing our teachers to vertically and horizontally align, benefiting our students, our teachers, and our families. As a classroom teacher, I'm excited about the possibility for the upcoming school year. There has been a noticeable enthusiasm within my department about this adoption, and I attribute this to the inclusion of the teacher input.
To further discuss teacher input, I'd like to showcase work from my department during the pilot phase. One significant aspect highlighted by my teachers was the focus on student writing. The following example comes from grade 7. You have been asked to direct a movie of The Raven, and you want to make sure your audience gets a clear sense of what the narrator is feeling and experiencing in the first 3 stanzas. Describe 3 details you would include in your movie. Explain what part of the text led you to include each detail. And you see there's a student example there, including details from the text. Another example is about a dodgeball victory. Grade 8 students were asked to practice detail by writing 3 additional sentences of one small moment. So it says, last year, the end of our dodgeball tournament was one of the most exciting moments of my 13 years. When Julio got out, it was just me and Tanya left on the gym floor. She paused and took aim. I hit the ground, but somehow managed to catch the ball between my legs. She was out, and our team declared victory. So students were asked to read the writer's description of one moment and find one place where you could add details to focus even more on that moment. Copy and paste the sentence where you would add your focus sentences. Write 3 more sentences to focus more on just this one moment. Moreover, as English teachers, we consistently encourage our students to refer back to the text to find evidence supporting their claims. You can see this on the slide from a grade 6 class. These questions are about argument and point of view. One of the questions is, what are the 2 strongest points Zeus makes? Give a reason that explains why each one was strong. Here, grade 7 students are given a multiple choice example, but again are asked to go back into the text. So it says, read the writer's description of one moment and find one place where you could add details to focus more on that moment. Oh, sorry, that was grade 8, right? I apologize. Sorry, the 2 questions. What does the narrator say is true about himself? And then they had to choose A or B, and that was looking in the text to find that answer. And what does the narrator say that is not true about himself? And they, again, 2 multiple choice answers, and they had to choose A or B for that.
So thank you, Kelly. The third phase of the Implement Mass Centers on launching the product. I have a condensed timeline on the PowerPoint that notes high-level moves between June and September of 2024, starting with providing teachers demo access in June. In July, we will hopefully be creating a mapping frame to use for year 1. There will be professional development offered in August, and teachers will begin implementation with students in September. I also wanted to take a moment to show this slide from DESE, which notes the implementation process starting with the evaluating and selecting and moving towards program installation, which is where we will live in school year 24-25. The program installation will involve the following key strategies: communicate clearly and frequently, engage in continuous improvement cycles with teachers, deliver consistent professional development focusing on standards-based instruction, build a culture of data analysis, and really make this implementation a team effort. So to end the presentation this evening, I want to leave you with the following. While we are so excited about the possibility of adding Amplify ELA to our middle school classrooms, it is important to note that materials are not the end. Strong instruction, grounded in high expectations for all, and individualized targeted support for students, access to grade level text, tasks, and practices daily is necessary to fully realize the instructional vision with high quality instructional materials. So we will now take any questions.
Member Satterwhite.
So my first question was on the professional development. What professional development and support will be provided to the teachers implementing this curriculum? I know that they'll have a demo period, and this will begin in June, correct?
Correct.
So how long is that going to be? This teacher's going to be expected to do this to the summer?
No, so there has been a lot of teacher requests that teachers have been asking for demo access to the platform to orient prior to PD. People have wanted to sort of play around with the product and see what's available for those that weren't on the adoption team. So the platform's going to offer that to our teachers should we adopt.
Perfect.
Member Reed.
Thank you so much for the presentation. I heard from a group of teachers around some of the other curriculums, I think the illustrative math, and how it's sort of not as accessible to Tier 2 and Tier 3 interventions. Do we consider this in this particular curriculum?
So this is a Tier 1 curriculum.
Oh, it's just strictly Tier 1.
This is strictly
Gotcha.
Tier 1.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there's opportunities for reteaching, which can enter into Tier 2, but this is strictly Tier 1.
Awesome, thank you.
Any other questions? Member Gailey?
So, with all my experience, as they'll all tell you, I have tons. But what I really would like to know is, we've been working hard to make sure that all the texts and supplies are here for you to move forward. So I'm just checking to make sure that all the supplies are here, everything we need to roll this out smoothly, so all our staff members in ELA and middle school have time to look at it, process it, and be able to teach it is available.
I mean, what's within my control, I can certainly offer. The expectation is with the purchase that this will be in the teacher's hands prior to the start of the school year, so in August. But that's all I can promise.
Not sooner.
Usually with an adoption, sometimes it becomes difficult when we carry it through the end of the year. It might be possible. We can definitely look into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then there was one other thing. I wanted to piggyback on your question, number satellite. I absolutely love the Raven. That was awesome. I think children would get excited about actually writing their own movie based on a book. I can't find this question, if you wait 1 second. So one thing I read that I was really impressed with is that it has a library of fiction and nonfiction, and also that grades 3 to 12. So it's embedded in it, even though it's Tier 1, embedded in it is for those students that may be just grade 3, reading level, approaching middle school, will be able to do baby steps and move forward and get them on grade level at some point. That's the hope, I hope, right? Then they would be Tier 1, correct?
It is a Tier 1 platform, yes.
Right. But even if someone is like coming into 6th grade at a grade 3 level, they would need help, right?
Depending on the student's needs, the platform can adjust accordingly.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you for the presentation.
Member Zadoway.
I have 2 questions, actually. How will the feedback from the teachers and the students be used to refine and improve the curriculum over time? Will it be the same, like adoption team, as long as they remain in the LPS system?
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
Okay.
There'll be surveys sent out. I've been talking to the department heads and the teachers. I've been doing some grassroots work and department meetings and going out and just sharing that I want to hear feedback, whether it's anecdotal, surveys, people are inviting me into their classrooms. I got to see pilots happen. So no, it's feedback from across the board for anyone who's using the product.
And then just lastly, are there any opportunities for interdisciplinary connections within the curriculum at all?
Yeah, so there's a ton of informational texts that bring in science and social studies options for us too, which is great because it really makes those connections with the anchor literature standards.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the presentation, and thank you to the whole
Thank
committee
you.
for all the work to make this recommendation. We appreciate it. Next item, we have unfinished business on the fiscal year 2025 budget. You recall that we were presented with the budget proposal at the last meeting. We have it on the agenda tonight, and we also, at the last meeting, set down the public hearing. For June, we had encouraged folks to share questions, and the administration has provided you with the responses to the questions they received so far, as well as some supplementary information that's in our packet.
Excuse me, Member Reed was trying to ask you a question.
Oh, yeah, Member Reed.
No, I was just going to ask if we could move the field trip request. I don't know if there's anyone here, but sticking around, but if not, no big deal.
Is there anyone here? All right. Thank you. Is there anything you want to say? Overview?
Yes, in terms of the overview, we thought it would be important. Obviously, the questions we received will go into a frequently asked questions document that'll go on our website, along with the budget that is posted. We itemized the responses in blue so that it was easy to see the questions versus the actual response from the executive leadership team, and they'll go that way on the website as well, so that anyone who's reading the questions can distinguish one from the other. We also are sharing two summaries, one that is sort of concise in terms of just bullet points that we put in the packet, as well as there should be in your packets a longer version that was also shared with the council. And it explains very clearly, right, what we explained in our first budget meeting, and in terms of what our proposed budget, what the budget is, how much is actually coming to us for instructional, right, resources and expenditures. And then what you know, in that very top, it explains clearly what the Chapter 70 funds are, total, the district allocation, the city allocation, and then there's sort of a breakdown of what happened with the ESSER funds, how much that amounts to, and then also the SOA, what it was last year as compared to this year. So any questions that we can answer specifically on any of the priorities or the investments or anything other than what we have responded to at this point. And we would encourage you, of course, to send us your questions so that we can do the same thing, respond to them and put them online, and then that way everyone can see. So Member Satterwhite's questions are all, you know, in one section, Member Reed's are already in one section, and we can continue to add that way. I think it makes it very clear and easy.
Any other, yep, Member Dugan?
Yeah, I'm working on my own questions, but I did have a question come up from a constituent today. It goes, I'm gonna do my best with it. So if we keep the current staffing as is at high schools, are we going to be able to meet the new graduation standards, the core graduation standards, specifically around math and physical education? This constituent was concerned about because those seem to be moving up a bit, I guess, with our new core graduation standards that we adopted. So they were wondering if how we were going to accomplish that, keeping the current staffing the way it is.
So you're talking, were they asking specifically about like teacher-student ratios? Or I don't.
Yeah, so it was really just about, you know, the kids, PE seems to be the specific one that this person was concerned about, that because the PE standards go up a bit, I guess, with the new graduation standards that we adopted. Are we going to, you know, how are our PE teachers going to manage larger
Right, and
classes
we
if
have
they need to?
the health standards that are now
And the
required
health
by,
standards,
right.
correct, yeah.
So at this time, I want to say that even with those health standards, you know, I think it's part of our facility constraint, right? Like in terms of how many times we can rotate students through a schedule in one day, that is really dictating our numbers and the ratios in those classes. We've had multiple conversations with teachers about this in terms of it doesn't just apply to math and PE. On paper, we can say a ratio looks good because in a large space, in a gym, you could have 2 or 3 PE teachers, but that doesn't mean it's appropriate. Right? In terms of how we're delivering instruction, but we only have one space to have the instruction in. So, Deputy Goris, is there anything else you want to add perhaps to that in terms of, I mean, I would say that is our biggest constraint in terms of, it's not that it's not about the, how many teachers, it's where do we put them? Right.
Exactly, yeah, okay. Fair enough, thank you.
Member Pena.
Hi, I had a question. My question was around the transportation department. So I remember last year they were seeking an administrative assistant, and then she got 2 assistant database. You know, what was her rationale around that? Instead of an administrative assistant, she got 2 database entries, assistants on the transportation.
Those positions were requested last year. There were 2 people.
I thought it was one administrative assistant, and then she got 2.
No, she's looking for an additional position beyond that. She requested it, but we gave her the 2 database manager positions.
Because I know taking over the department was a little overwhelming. There was a lot of, there was a lot of stuff going on, and I thought, an administrative assistant would probably be helpful. I mean, visiting there, there's only one person answering phones was even bilingual at the time.
Right. Yeah, there's a total of 4 people in that department now. So, 1 clerical person, and there's the 2 database, and then there's the administrator of the department, so the director of the department. So there's 4 people, and at least 2, if not 2 or 3 are Spanish speaking. At least 2.
2 of them are.
So it's helped. One of the database person is Spanish speaking, so
Okay.
That can help out. So.
Which helps out with the phones, yeah. Because I get calls about transportation, like, hey, I can't help you there, but do my best. Thank you.
Okay. Member Gailey.
I was having the same question when I was going through this on transportation. The clerical staff member is there, and there's 2 database management, and it seems like our numbers are going up, and I think it could be a problem where if you have a clerk in a position, then the clerk decides to move, then you're retraining that clerk all over again. So I think it would be a solid base to have 3 data or an assistant, transportation manager, another assistant database manager, and a clerk. So the person, if they leave and, move on because they want to, the transportation manager would still have database managers, 3 of them working for them, answering phones and helping them with transportation. And I really feel as though this department has done a remarkable job. I get very few phone calls. I used to get lots of phone calls on transportation, but I don't now. And I think if they had 1 more database manager, it would be helpful. If you can consider that, we could fill it in there. Anyway, that's just something I would like to see, but I can't add to the budget, I can only cut, and I realize that. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take that under consideration. I will say that in terms of the clerical staff and, even some of our other positions, especially in departments where they're heavily servicing our parents that are not English speaking. We've had this conversation with 1736 in terms of, this is exactly why Rosetta Stone, right, is helpful at this time, and we have it for 3 more years. It's really about being able to just understand a parent, it's not even so much fluency, but just to be able to do some minimal, like, understanding translation. Because what we have difficulty with is finding bilingual candidates who can actually support the number of families that do not speak English in, when you're answering the phones. And so, we're really trying to support the entire staff to have some of those, just be able to converse, right? To answer a phone, to be able to, otherwise, we're not really servicing the parents and our families in the community.
I'm just going to add something about the transportation piece, because it's a critical function, and it's great to hear that feedback, because it really matters deeply for our families and obviously for ultimately the educational outcomes. I think it's worth noting the context that it's a different financial situation than the rest of the budget, in that it doesn't count towards net school spending, and so. The investments that we've been able to make through the Student Opportunity Act essentially don't help us on the transportation side. And for all intents and purposes, it's like it comes out of the city budget essentially, in the sense that it doesn't count towards the city's net school spending target. So I think that is just context. Over the last couple of years, there's been a pretty significant increase, I think, in the total transportation budget. So it's 14.9 proposed for 25. It's probably 11 or 12 a couple years ago. You had
Yes.
Yeah, something like that. So obviously we've made investments. A lot of that is driven by factors beyond our control, in the sense that it's a not a super friendly market to the buyer, in this case, the district, right? And very limited competition, and therefore a lot of pressure. And they're having cost increase generally, right? Like cost of fuel is up, cost of labor is up. So it's understandable that it's increasing. That's a significant increase, in the amount of time. And so I think we're grateful to see LPS and the transportation here, really focus on driving that quality and that service, and also appreciate the mindfulness of the fiscal context on the city side because of the way these finances play out. So, Member Castellanos.
Dr. Alvarez, thank you for bringing up Rosetta Stone. I have a couple questions around the numbers. So was it 448,000? What was the numbers on the 3-year? And you said 3 years, right? We have a subscription.
We have 3 years. We broke it up into 3 years. And Kevin, are you asking about the payment and the cost?
Yeah, what's the payment? What's the?
Yeah.
Yes.
So is it annually for? Sorry, can you just say it?
Yes.
So 448 annually, with is there any opt-out features on that? Could we opt out of it if folks are not accessing it?
I'm not, it's based on the number of,
School sites.
We got, for the price, we got full access. The actual, if we were to go by the number of actual people, would be actually more than that cost, because you had to pay by schools, and the schools will only be the students in the schools. So we were allowed to get the families involved, so they have unlimited access for families.
And the staff.
And the administration office as well was included for free, so that was the negotiated price that came to that. Otherwise, it would be drastically more.
Yeah.
Do we have an opt-out feature? I'm asking because there's some concerns around the access. I think there was I think there was a small window to sign up, and folks are having a tough time understanding how to
They just need to contact, if it's a staff member, they just need to contact
Family,
HR.
staff.
If it's families, we have sent messages out on contact and how to sign up. What's happened is that so there are windows for the training, like if they want to go through the training, but there's no window for them to sign up and start on their own. They can absolutely sign up and start on their own. Anyone can. The windows are for the actual, to walk them through process and sort of, like what does it offer, how to use it, like a user demo. So, but that's offered at certain times. It's going to be offered continuously throughout the time that we are using them, but anyone can sign up at any time. If they're having difficulty, depending on who it is, so if it's a family or a student or a parent, they can work with the school and make sure that they're able to sign on. We had the data team sign up all the students, like they do rosters for everything else on our platform, so that all students have access already.
And how are we going to monitor that use? Because I'm afraid that when you look at a $448,000, it's expensive. Like, if we're not using it, right, are we monitoring it yearly? Like, is there an opt-out? So if next year, say we come back to the budget, right, we're in a really tight
Right. We can-
squeeze with our budget.
Absolutely.
So
We
are
can
gonna be able to
we can
opt out?
pull reports, and with any contract, there's always a way to end a contract.
What's the number going to be what's the threshold? Do we have that? Could you say if, again, like you have families, students, we have a lot of folks that can access it. What's going to be our number to say, all right, we're going to back out of this?
Well, we
If it doesn't, yeah.
we just got onto it. I think what we need to do is first assess, right, quarterly, who's using it and how we're using it. And what do they need to be able to access it if they're not accessing it?
Who's going to be
I think it's a
conducting the
little
quarterly
early
assessments?
for us to say we're going to end a contract for something we just started.
Who's going to conduct the quarterly assessments? Will
So-
it be our CFO?
Well, it would be myself and HR for staff, and academics for students. The parents are a bonus, right? Our staff is a bonus. As Mr. McHugh said, the reason we got it at the price that we got it is because we already purchased the Math IXL. We are already working with the vendor for other curriculum, and so they gave it to us at I think probably at less than half of the cost of what a district that didn't have Math IXL would cost.
I'm just afraid if we don't have enough awareness, or, I don't know, I'm not really hearing much strategy on this. I apologize if I don't hear an engagement strategy to make sure that we are, that we're actually I hear we're getting a deal on this, but we also, I don't know
Sure.
if we're.
No, I totally understand. The other thing that we are moving to next is because it has a world languages component, we have discussed, whether we're going to move in that direction of like having, and where do we stand with world languages? Because we're only offering very limited world language. And that shouldn't be the case only because we have multilingual language learners, and the majority of our students speak more than one language. And currently, our language is, we're offering Spanish for speakers and non-speakers, and we offer, we're not offering multiple languages other than Latin, which is, valuable, but not a spoken language for skills.
Okay. Do we have incentives for students to take it? I know we have the Seal by Literacy program, and are we looking to create, like, I guess, awareness of like, okay, well, these are the benefits of having Spanish,
Right.
and are we going to tie in the? I'm worried.
Yeah, because there are so it offers 25 languages, right? And so that would be the goal, to ensure, especially when we look at some of the innovative programs that we're trying to bring to the district, and curriculum which require other languages for students to be proficient and bilingual, not just in Spanish, but they could choose Portuguese, they could choose French, they could choose really anything they wanted.
That's a lot. 25 languages is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I thank you for that
Sure.
clarification. And I just have I know we're going to be meeting up. We're going to be talking about obviously more detailed budget questions, but I did have a general, I guess, a concern around our innovation and grants. I don't know if that's where it lies. Our grant writing capacity, our department, right? Where exactly are we looking to, how do I say, are we looking to increase the capacity there, considering the funding difficulties that we have ahead of us. I feel like we don't have, when I looked around the surrounding areas, when I started talking to other colleagues of legislature, they're saying that Lynn should have a more robust, like, grant writing operation. So I didn't see much. I know we have certain positions, certain talent that are within our system, but not specifically to our grant writing operation. So I didn't see efforts or investments there, and I thought that was interesting, because considering that we lost a lot of funds in the next couple of years, we'd like to see more grants. We'd like to see more funding sources that I know we're eligible for. I think that was in the past, like 6 years ago I brought this up. We've made efforts to make those investments, but I didn't see in the budget, unless you guys are aware of any additional positions or somewhere else who are, I know in certain positions we have grant writing, right? We have a grant, like, that's a skill, but I don't necessarily, I don't have people's like jobs postings in front of me. So if we could talk about that, I don't know if it's right now, maybe we talk about it later. I know Debbie Rosario probably wants to chime in.
Please excuse my voice. I'm not sick. So a couple of things. Jennifer Kelly is a position that we put in back when Dr. Tutwiler was here. She still works for us. She actively writes grants. She works in collaboration with other administrators in the district, principals, district administrators. She's actually working with me and Jackie Gallo and Christina Kalala and Leanne Palmer on the early childhood work for the funding that the city was able to get to expand preschool. So she's invaluable in writing grants. She's very knowledgeable and works tirelessly on writing. All of our district administrators, and I would even say our principals at times, like I know Fred Gallo's here, Fred writes grants all the time. We all write grants, and we work together. We typically put a team together, and we all work together to write grants. We have in Kevin's department a 3-person grant department. The director of grants, the assistant director of grants, and then they have a clerk who helps with the management of keeping track of the budgets. And of course, the grants and innovation department that Dr. Alvarez brought in works on multiple grants. So we're always looking for new grants, and we always work collaboratively as a team to get those grants written.
So right now we have Jennifer Kelly, who's really, that's kind of where I was concerned, is that we have a lot of miscellaneous.
No, I think when you look in the grants department and you think of somebody like Dr. Gardner, and under Yvonne, under Dr. Alvarez's direction, she's moving that department to apply for federal money and exposing them to that level of grant writing. Dr. Gardner just finished the Magnet grant, but we're also, right now she's down in Atlanta with the Community Schools Project, because one of the pieces that we're going to be asking her to do is to apply for a federal grant connected with the community schools. So I think that, this is a piece, this has been part of Dr. Alvarez's vision in terms of grant writing, that we move into the federal lane of doing that, and she really has worked with Dr. Gardner around that, shaping that vision and that work there.
As well as, with her, and she's supporting her assistant directors to do the same. And I will say that the new data department works well together to produce a lot of data for all of our grants that require it. Dr. Shorter has written several grants. Robert Bishop has written several grants. Again, Dr. Gardner has written several grants this year, but the largest one being the MSAP grant, which I supported, just reviewing and editing for her and, giving a lot of feedback so that. there are specific requirements in federal grants that are not specific to what we're used to, right? And local grants, state grants. So yeah, I think all of us, right, at times, are writing or editing or providing feedback for a number of grants that are just happening simultaneously. And we'll continue to do that. I mean, I don't think that it's out of our consideration to explore what you're sharing. I just think we need to hit a big grant to be able to support hiring a person to write grants. I think that would be, right, the ideal situation.
Well, that's my, that's
Right.
my, that's a systems piece.
Right.
No, that's what I'm, so you leave, everyone who writes grants leave.
Who writes
It's not
the grants?
sustainable. We're talking long term, so that's why I'm really concerned about that. I think I've been bringing this up for a long time, and I think that's the part. And I don't think we should be waiting to hit a grant to get a grant writer to support the capacity. That's just my opinion. I think we should be very focused on that. And to bring up the federal search rhythm that you're mentioning is amazing to hear. It's a refreshing note to hear fiscally, because we're going to be going down some very tough budget times, and we have to be very aggressive in our pursuit on grant writing and development, and really treat this through a systems implementation. That takes time, and I understand that part, so thank you.
Absolutely, sure.
Great, thank you. Member Gibbon.
I'm a little confused about the grants, Karen, only because in my binder, I have innovation grants fiscal year proposed budget, and we just got this new filler, and it's the same thing.
There was a typo on the original one.
Where was the typo?
Oh, it said innovation grants and social emotional learning.
On your one in your book.
See it?
You just have to replace the page.
Oh, I see it. Okay, that's why I was confused. And I was wondering if next year, to help with all of us to know what grants, would it be possible for us to have, like, in our budget, like a list of grants that we are receiving and what department it's going in, to clarify that? Member Castellanos will know where they are?
That's what it would be really helpful.
It would be
to
very
see that,
helpful.
to see the results of what we're doing, right? The fruit of the labor.
That could happen.
It's a good idea.
Any other questions? Well, this will continue to take place as we receive folks' questions and provide those answers from the administration. So thanks everyone for the questions tonight and everyone's responses and all the work that's going into this. We really appreciate it. We'll take a quick recess.
A quick recess?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fourth to the 29th.
Before I seek a motion, I will turn over the floor.
Good evening. My name is Anthony Gonzalez, and I'm a senior in the radio and TV broadcasting program over at Lynn Tech. I also serve as a Skills USA chapter president. This evening, I am here to introduce to all of you one of our leadership comps that we will be taking to nationals this year. While you look at these gentlemen present all the organizing, planning, and hard work that went into the project, we ask that you keep in mind that there were lots of other students and leaders that were behind it all. We work alongside our peers and mentors to make sure that every event goes as planned from the ground up. From meeting early in the mornings to staying after school every day. All of this is an effort to make sure that All of this is an effort to make our school and community a better place, and to guarantee that Lynn Tech has a seat at the national conference. Every year, we work hard to make sure that we're able to represent our school and community the best that we can. This year, we hope to do the same. This year, we hope to do the same. Attending the national conference has proven again and again to be an experience that unites the team and shines a bright light on LPS at the national level. It is also an opportunity for members of our chapter to feel rewarded after an entire year of morning meetings, heavy lifting, and lots of memorization. That is why we have come here today, to ask for an opportunity to continue to see the fruits of our hard work. Now, with that being said, I'd like to introduce my teammates. Jared Munguia, Ryan Aguilar, and Justin Barboza, who will be sharing our 2023 to 2024 community service project. Afterwards, we will be able to answer any reciting questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
The biggest fear that most parents, guardians, teachers, and faculty have given the climate of schools today must be when a school is thrown into lockdown. The panic strikes and everyone is corralled into the corner of a classroom. What's happening? What do we do? Parents and teachers, like all of us students, look to each other with the silent question in their eyes. Is this a school shooting?
This grim and fearful situation moved from a possibility to a reality this year for our chapter when gang violence manifested right outside our chapter's doors. Through chapter conversations, one thing kept ringing true to us. We needed to do more for our families.
Thank you for that introduction, guys. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Justin Barboza, and I'm a junior in the Health Assisting and Technology program at Lynn Vocational Technical Institute. With me today are my two incredible teammates, Ryan Aguilar and Jared Munguia, who are both seniors in the Information Technology program. This afternoon, we are humbled to share with you our two-phase project we created as a response to violence that both Jared and Ryan described in our introduction. As a result, we decided to bring families together in a project we titled
The Family Project.
Before we share with you our response to our chapter's goals, we'd first like to share with you our chapter's 2 SMART goals. Goal 1, by Saturday, December 9th, our chapter will organize and execute a family-oriented, kid-centric Christmas party for 50 families, where each parent will receive a Christmas sack containing a minimum of 10 toys tailored to their child's wishes, and we will create a minimum of 5 engaging activities for children to participate in during our event on December 9th. Goal 2, create a Family Day with Skills USA event for 50 families in our community on March 2nd from 9 to 2 by painting and/or staining coffee tables and creating 10 family-related activities to enhance the family bonds.
Goals matter, but how we determine those goals is equally as important. Why did we decide that our response to violence would be harbored by a focus on family?
Great question, Ryan.
Our research shows that there's an abundance of studies that suggest that with strong bonds and ties at home, families serve to model behaviors and help young people learn to socialize, influence a child's brain development, inspire future relationships, and improve overall life satisfaction. If we wanted to see a change in violence within our community, we thought that a connection to family bonding would be one way to make that difference.
That's right, Ryan. While we were simultaneously working out the details of Phase 2, Family Day with Skills USA, we were afforded with another great opportunity to work with families when we hosted a holiday party for 50 families in Phase 1. For this, we partnered with Skills USA Massachusetts after we were approached by Karen Ward. Yes, the Massachusetts State Director, to host this yearly tradition. It was the perfect pairing, and it was going to motivate our efforts to focus on families. Our first step was to find the right organization we could partner with. After a bit of time, we decided to work with the Greg Neighborhood House, a local nonprofit after-school program for children and families who also employed several of our early childhood future teachers. Their mission is to help each child to grow healthy, educated, resilient, and successful by providing appropriate resources and ongoing opportunities for family and community engagement. Clearly, our missions were aligned, so we gave them a call.
The Gregg House was thrilled. After an initial meeting with their after-school coordinator and social worker, we had a plan. They would identify 50 families and provide us with a list of each child's holiday wish list. While we waited for the list, we got to work right away at the end of October, where we hosted a school-wide toy drive. Our plan was strategic. We'd collect toys until November 22nd and celebrate those donations at our Thanksgiving pep rally. Immediately following that, we would sort those toys alongside each child's age and request. Once we had those toys sorted, we had an idea of what other toys were needed in order to fulfill each child's holiday wish list.
Yes, Jared, this was my favorite part. With 50 families on our list, members of our chapter worked together and adopted 1 or 2 children of their own. This meant that we were responsible for making sure each child on our list received a minimum of 10 toys each mentioned in our goal. These toys were also tailored to each child's Christmas wish list. This is when we got to shopping. Before we knew it, we not only had all the toys for each child and parent, but we also had a game plan for our service event on December 9th. Working with Skills USA Massachusetts, we had arts and crafts activities, cookie decorating, Christmas carols, and lunch organized to meet our SMART goal. Not to mention the most important guest of the day, Santa, who, by the way, arrived to the awe and cheer of the children in a fire truck. While Santa visited with the kids, our own little Santas visited with the parents, as they were each given a bag filled with toys and wrapping paper as their own little Christmas miracle. The parents and children were extremely grateful, and it really felt like we were doing something positive for the families in our community.
That's right. As someone who had very little during the holidays, it felt good to see the smiles of the children and the parents. We believe we were able to help alleviate some of the holiday stress, and in some ways, we believe this allowed for even more meaningful family time together. After all, wasn't this the mission of our project?
Indeed it was. Family time was a goal for 50 different families when we created Family Day with Skills USA. This was our initial idea. We wanted to create an opportunity for families to come to our school to spend meaningful time together. While we pondered what Family Day might look like, we knew 2 things. 1, we wanted to create a full day of activities, and 2, we wanted to utilize the CTE skills of our school. This is when we came up with the idea of a coffee table. It seemed like a natural idea. Let's have families come to our school to build a coffee table. After all, it's a place at home where families can come together to spend meaningful time with one another. Our vision started to come alive. We would use Family Day to promote activities that centered around the coffee table and families spending time together in order to enhance the family bonds. Because we believe that if they have a meaningful reason to come together, then it is very likely this will reduce future violence and enhance the family bonds in our community.
Jared, Phase 2 was phenomenal. With a lot of letdowns after seeking potential partners and grants, we utilized the Skills USA essential element of adaptability and flexibility to find new ways to fund our project. In the end, we successfully raised over $10,000 from local businesses and nonprofits.
Building with our CTE programs, we worked with our entire school. Carpentry would build tables. Advanced manufacturing would create metal plates with special family-centered phrases on them. Early childhood would walk students through a story walk of our Skills USA children's book, Tech Goes to Tigertown. And culinary would help create a recipe for families to add all the dry ingredients to for a take-home of chocolate chip cookies. Perhaps one of the cutest activities was when we had our TV media students and teachers taking family portraits that would be printed and framed before families left for the day.
Those photos were adorable, Jeremy. In the end, each family had a total of 10 activities available throughout the day and a card that they received stamps on. If they finished all the available activities, they became eligible to win a family membership to the YMCA. While some of our activities were meant to be just simply fun, a lot of them built upon one another as something for each of our families to bring home.
Friends, picture this. Each family left with a coffee table that they made together. Sitting on top of the table is a glass vase with flowers and a plant they created at Family Day. Sitting on the wall behind them is their brand new family photo and family album created and painted at our event. As they sit around one another to play one of the 5 free board games they received at Family Day, a parent comes in with the delicious chocolate chip cookies. Now, this means they get to spend additional meaningful time together. Collectively, our event was not meant to just be fun, but it was meant to extend beyond Family Day and into their lives. As one little kid said to us, "Thank you. Today was magical," and we all agreed. The day was incredible, and all the feedback we received was filled with positivity and gratitude. Now, with all this positivity in mind, we'd like to return to our project SMART goals.
Goal 1, school and community impact, met by organizing our entire school to participate in the toy drive and by assigning sponsors to ensure each child's holiday wish list. Families got to participate in our festive event, and not only that, but they left with some of the pressures of the holiday season relief. This, we believe, would make their holidays that much more meaningful. Goal 2, school and community impact, exceeded beyond the coffee tables and how beautiful they were. Families got to take advantage of many activities that showcase the CTE skills of our school. And not only that, they had fun with one another, spent meaningful time together, and left with materials that would ask them to spend more quality time together in the days ahead.
Throughout both phases of our project, we kept our initial goal in mind. We wanted to create activities that would provide opportunities for families to spend time with one another in meaningful ways. So, was our project a success? We believe so. Since our project was created in an effort to stop the violence that was splintering in our community, we were successfully able to bring 100 different families to our school to participate in family-oriented and kid-friendly activities. Because of this, we embodied the ideals of Skills USA: service, leadership, and a commitment to promoting CTE. We thought about our school and community during a difficult time, and we worked hard to bring the two of them together in a meaningful way. As a result, we believe that we've successfully helped our school and community, one child,
one student,
and one family at a time.
Thank you.
That was an incredible presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Warm up.
You're definitely going to win.
Always makes my year.
That was amazing. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. I can't tell you how meaningful it is to see your energy and positivity, and we've experienced some really painful moments as a community over the last year, and to see you see that, really take ownership of it, and communicate with your home, your community in a really advanced way is just an incredible testament to you as students, to all your educators, and I can't tell you how proud we all are of you. So congratulations.
Thank you.
We also need a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to allow our grant Skills USA to attend the National Skills USA competition and conference in Atlanta, Georgia on June 24th through 29th, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Good luck.
Excellent.
Good luck.
One more time, come on.
With that.
That is amazing. Oh,
So good.
You guys are amazing.
Gotta tell everyone, follow us on Facebook. I'll share
Great
it.
job.
Thank you.
Thank
Hey,
you.
thank you so much. Thank you.
They're always active.
Yep, thank
Good
you.
luck.
Great job.
Yeah, I see those kids in the community all the time. I got you there for the special.
I was in
Next item is Pickering Middle School opening and closing.
No, you got it.
Oh, sorry. Sisson grade 5 to Kennedy Lake, Salem, New Hampshire on June 12th, 2024. What's the recommendation, Superintendent?
The recommendation is to approve for grade 5 from Sisson, field trip to Kenobi Lake, Salem, New Hampshire on June 12th.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Okay. Pickering Middle School opening and closing.
The recommendation is, prior to a vote, we're going to table this item to the June 13th meeting, just to explore a couple of other recommendations and concerns that we've shared since the last Pickering meeting that we had, in terms of traffic patterns and perhaps some other options of whether we stick to the times. We do have survey data that we collected from parents and teachers, but I think we still need to just have some discussions around what the final solution might be. And again, this is temporary until the building opens because of the construction and what we would need to do to accommodate the staff and the parents and the students coming in.
Okay. Is there a motion table?
Motion to
So
table.
moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Next is a Lynn Teachers Union request for permission to continue the practice of presenting awards to deserving students in the graduating classes of the middle and high schools.
The recommendation is for the school committee to grant permission for LTU to continue the practice of presenting awards to deserving students in the graduating classes of the middle and high schools.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Next is Lynn Teachers Union Local 1037 requests that a union leave of absence be granted to the union president for the 2024-2025 school year.
The recommendation is for the school committee to grant the request of a union leave absence to be granted to the president for the school year of 24-25.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Should we take the superintendent's report out of order?
Yes.
So moved. Make a motion to.
Okay. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. So as we approach June and look forward to graduation ceremonies, we remember that these mark a significant milestone in our students' lives, symbolizing the culmination of hard work, perseverance, and dedication. As our graduates prepare to walk across the stage next week, receive their diplomas, and step into the next chapter of their lives, we want to congratulate them in advance for a job well done. Yesterday, I had the privilege of celebrating with the Promise Year students and issuing their diplomas. These ceremonies are steeped in tradition, English and classical camaraderies. Lynn Tech, Fecto Leary graduates, they all have one thing in common. Our students are gritty, they're resilient, and they're full of hope for their futures. As we think about them, we must re-examine the portrait of a Lynn Public School graduate. As educators, it is an awesome responsibility to be entrusted with shaping the K-12 student experience. Therefore, graduation time brings with it much reflection on the challenges overcome, the knowledge gained, as well as a celebration of achievements and potential for the future. As the district teams reflected on the portrait of a Lynn Public Schools graduate, it was essential to review and evaluate this year's accomplishments. We started with the needs of the students and have also embedded this goal into our incoming district strategic plan for 2024 through 2029, which will be completed this summer and in effect for the fall. We have referenced coherence and what that means concretely for each of our departments. This is a need for a coherent, aligned system strategies for achieving systemic change in our field. This is the framework consisting of the 4 components shared in the superintendent's entry plan back in October of 2023. One was focusing direction, establishing a clear purpose and direction to ensure everyone in the organization understands and commits to shared goals. Cultivating collaborative cultures, encouraging collaborative and inclusive cultures where teachers, leaders, and other stakeholders work together to achieve common objectives. Deepening learning, emphasizing the importance of capacity building and continuous learning to enhance the skills and competencies required for achieving desired outcomes. And securing accountability, ensuring that that there are systems in place to monitor progress, provide feedback, and hold individuals accountable for their contributions towards achieving the set goals. In the adaptive daily work process, we understand that this is truly equity in action. We have many assignments ahead of us, but we will continue to diligently address each process and challenge until all our systems are aligned and working well. This will allow each student in Lynn to reach their fullest potential and leave LPS with the skills and academic knowledge they need to navigate their next journey. So what I wanted to share with you, which we will not read through all of these categories, but all of the departments compiled into one document. The major achievements, right? This isn't all of them, but these are the major achievements of all of the departments within LPS that came together. And, a lot of these are collaborations between departments, but live responsibly under, and so we gave you headings so that you would clearly understand. I just want to note a couple of things under superintendent's office in terms of, where we are with student voice. I think critically important, establishing centering youth voices was one of the best initiatives that we launched this year. To be able to have 10 student advisors and receive feedback, and they are most excited to come back, and those that are seniors will be replaced with students from their schools to take their seats. So that was definitely one of the ways that we have shaped policy, the student experience going forward, and really taking a lot of input from students directly, because we work for students, but we rarely ask them what they want and how they feel about their experience in schools. The other is, I just wanted to touch upon one of the bullets down the middle. We reduced budgetary spending roughly around $3,233,000 for next school year overall. That doesn't include all of the balancing that we did, but just reducing a number of things to ensure that we don't have shortfalls at the end of school year 25. Of course, the development of the STEAM Academy and the concept going forward is going to be certainly one of the ways that we will alleviate overcrowding, but also bring innovative instruction and delivery to students in grades 6 through 12. Expanding pre-K programs, we are in the midst of expanding programs. We're grateful to Mayor Nicholson for helping us. We haven't secured the grant, but we're hoping to secure the grant, and the entire team that's working on the document. But this building, of course, will be converted into a very, hopefully, large early childhood center, and that is a tremendous feat from where we started this year. The other is, expanding seats at Lynn Tech, which we're extremely excited about, and exploring the options of keeping 8th graders there in the following year so that we have less transitions for middle schoolers. And of course, moving the TEAMS program to Pondview to give them the facility that they deserve, that is specially tailored and made for medically fragile students in our district. And I do want to share that just overall in terms of IEP compliance, I know back in November, we had shared that we were at, this says 87, but it was actually 89% compliance from where we started, 67. But as of today, and talking to Dr. Colella earlier, we're currently at 93% IEP compliance. So we are moving in the right direction, and you have another 16 pages to review on your own of a lot of, and we welcome you to ask as many questions after you review these. These will also go online under each of the departments as a collective document for all of our parents, students, and community to review and of course, be informed about what we've been doing this past year. So with that, thank you.
Awesome. Does the item have a copy of that?
Yeah, so we actually have a member of the item here with us this evening. My understanding is that they will be covering a year in review soon, just to share with everyone all of what we have been able to make progress with this current school year.
Thank you, Dr. Alvarez. That's very exciting. We appreciate all that, and to all the folks that contributed to that. I think we now need a request for executive session. If you could just list the multiple items in the motion itself.
Okay, make a motion to request executive session to approve executive minutes from March 14th, 2024. Request for executive session for contract negotiations with non-union personnel, Dr. Christina Colella, Administrator of Special Ed, and Mary Jules, Secretary of School Committee.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Member Castellanos?
Yes.
Member Dugan?
Yes.
Member Gately?
Yes.
Member Pena?
Yes.
Member Reed?
Yes.
Member Satterwhite?
Yes.
Mayor Nicholson?
Yes.
Make a motion to resume.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Member Castellanos?
Yes.
Member Dugan?
Yes.
Member Gately?
Yes.
Member Pena?
Yes.
Member Reed?
Yes.
Member Satterwhite? Mayor Nicholson?
Yes. We can wait a minute.
We can wait a minute.
Got to get on the record.
Take a minute.
No, don't worry about it. We're waiting for you.
Donald French fry.
All right, so there's one vote that we need to report out to regular session.
And the motion was to renew the contract of Mary Jules as Secretary of the School Committee for the term of July 1, 2024 through June 30th, 2027, at a salary of $88,400.
Second.
Form of motion?
So moved.
Still moved?
Second? All right, roll call, please.
Member Castellanos?
Yes.
Member Dugan?
Yes.
Member Gately?
Yes.
Member Pena?
Yes.
Member Reed?
Yes.
Member Satterwhite?
Yes.
Mayor Nicholson?
Yes.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, man.
Well
Thank you.
deserved.
Seeing no further business?
Make a motion to adjourn.
We don't have to do it. It's kept down. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Yes.